Rob Kendall, along with Tyler Bless, the head coach of the Plainfield Quakers. All right, coach, it took an extra day, but a great win on Saturday. You got to be thrilled to death to get that big win on the road at Lafayette Harrison.
Yeah, it was a great team win, and extremely proud of our players and coaches and parents and everybody that was a part of it. Also, glad to be 2-0 and getting ready to go into conference play Friday versus Mooresville.
All right, so obviously, before we get to the game, kind of take us through. You get to Lafayette. They obviously announced the game is going to be delayed. Take us through kind of that whole process and then getting back on the bus the next day. Just kind of work through all of that with us about how we got ready to even play football on Saturday.
Yeah, we got up there on Friday, probably a little bit behind schedule because of traffic. We got there like 6:15 ish for a 7:30 start, so we were already kind of pushing it a little bit. We got out for pregame. You kind of see in the distance, obviously, it's gray and kind of looks like it's coming our way. We didn't know if it was going to kind of go past us or if it was just going to obviously hit us. But we were in the pregame maybe 20 minutes to go before kickoff and got lightning. We're able to go up to the school's cafeteria where it had air conditioning and had more space. So we're up there for, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, and then it started really kind of letting loose with the rain and the thunder and lightning. I don't know exactly the time of when we called it off, canceled it for Friday night, and then rescheduled it. I didn't feel like it was in our best interest to stay there in the cafeteria and wait it out for 2 hours and 15 minutes, and then try to play it and then still have lightning and then get home at midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever it would have been, and then trying to get officials on that Saturday morning. So, our kind of party of admin and myself made the decision to cancel it for Friday night to try to reschedule it for Saturday at 11 a.m. We then canceled our home JV and freshman games versus Harrison as well. So we were able to use two of those officials that we had already scheduled for Saturday. We just changed the location on them, and they went to Lafayette. And then Harrison was able to provide, I believe, the other three officials. It was a hodgepodge of officials that had never worked together, actually. And the white hat had never been, I should say the head official had never been a head official before. So it was kind of just a crew that, again, had never worked together. So I thought they did fine, but decided to do that. We got back to the high school about 10 o'clock on Friday night. Told the boys, hey, you need to go home. You need to eat something, go to bed. We had them come back in at kind of gave them a window, 7:15, 7:30 on Saturday morning. We're able to get, some snacks from our quarterback club, some bananas and oranges for those kids. And then we got up there in pretty quick time on would have been yesterday, and then played the game at 11. So got home yesterday afternoon. I honestly couldn't even tell you. I think it was 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I don't really know. I just know that we won, and it was awesome. And we will never complain about winning, whether it was on a Friday night or a Saturday morning.
Well, so let's talk about that logistically. I just think that's interesting what you touched on, which is this is not the National Football League. When these things happen, it's not like everybody's even available the next day. These guys referee other JV games or other sports or whatever. I mean, it's logistical nightmare to not play a high school football game on a Friday night.
Yeah, and probably most people, and like myself, don't know what it's like until you actually do it. I think we honestly probably had an advantage of canceling it early and rescheduling it for Saturday morning to then get officials. And then if you kind of backtrack on the timestamps of like what was going on in Central Indiana with some of those games and lightning delays, because they were able to start their game on time, but then by halftime, those games got lightning delayed. So then again, I think we were ahead of time to get officials to secure an 11 o'clock start. And then you see, other teams in our conference and around Central Indiana had to postpone to Saturday and then end up canceling because of lack of officials or transportation issues or whatever. So I think we're just very lucky. It was a great job by our admin to get buses and to get officials. And we were able to be on the same page as Harrison, and they treated us with a lot of respect and professionalism. to do what was best for obviously the kids on Friday, keeping them safe, but also coming back on Saturday to play the game.
All right, let's thank our sponsors that make our broadcast possible. Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Ganell Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy, Ryan Grimes, I-70 Wrecker Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwood Jones, the Stewart Home Group, and Ellis and Associates. Okay, so let's talk about the ball game. Obviously, once again, the ground attack dominates the ball game, dominates the scoring. Let's talk about your ability to run the football on Saturday morning.
Yeah, I was very pleased with that, honestly, because I was a little bit probably nervous would be the correct word, of like they've shown on film that they were going to pack the box with 7 to 9 guys and make us either throw the ball or keep pounding it and trying to find a way to get some good runs. And um, again, how cancellation works and rescheduling. Our statistician, Jeff Sherman, usually is with us on Friday nights. He works for Indiana University, so he was at IU's game yesterday. So I have no stats. I don't even know. All I know is that we won the game. We did run the ball very well. We threw it very little, but I felt like we were in a position most of the game where we controlled the line of scrimmage. I thought we left some points on the board in the first half on a drive where we ended up missing a field goal. But other than that, I really thought our offensive line, our tight ends, our running backs did a phenomenal job of doing what we said we were going to do for our keys to victory, and that was to win the line of scrimmage, to be the more physical team on all 3 phases, and then to play smart and do your job. So I was very pleased to see us execute that on the offensive side, and then obviously was able to do that more in the third and fourth quarter where it really counted and where we really needed to get some scores to kind of close the gap with those guys.
Well, luckily, Leck, who does the games, he kind of keeps stats while he's going on. He said Luke Starnes had over 200 yards, which is amazing.
Yeah, I would say we're probably pretty accurate. I'd like to see what the numbers are on all of it in terms of everybody. So, yeah, Luke had a great day. I thought Weston Wyrick got in a good rhythm in the second half. I thought Bryce did a good job of just, again, managing the game. We put him in some situations where felt a little bit uncomfortable on some calls where I like to go back and say I'd like to change that thought process that I had. But he did a good job of keeping everything going in the right direction.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Obviously, we mentioned the great game Luke Starnes had, but you've kind of got a double headed monster approach back there with Wyrick, and I think that's going to really pay off as the season rolls along. That you can use both of those guys.
Yeah, I mean, our goal for really the whole season and from the off season going into the season was to have 2 backs that we feel very comfortable and confident in, that can go and secure a good yard, secure the football, split it away when we have to. But I've been very pleased with both of those young men in our program. They've done a great job. They both have their own little strengths and weaknesses and do things better than the other. But if we can keep those 2 guys healthy and fresh, throughout the season, we're going to put ourselves in a really good position.
This is 2 games in a row now. You guys have closed well. You guys have played well down the stretch. And as a coach, you got to feel good about that, to know, hey, these close games, we're very confident about our ability to close out a football game.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, we got a shutout in the second half, and then we're able to score 17 unanswered points on offense. So, truly was complimentary football. There was a moment in that third quarter where, they were driving, kind of got it by Grayson Harden in the end zone. I would think we went down and kicked a field goal to take the lead after that. And then Ty White, a couple series later, got a really big interception about middle of the field on a key third down that resulted in us going down and scoring to kind of make that I think it was 17-9 at that point. And then Carson Cole got an interception on 4th and 2. Had a really good break on the ball and picked it off right on their sideline, and that was able to kind of really secure it. And then we were able to convert on 4th down with one of his rushing touchdowns. So truly was complimentary football. I thought our defense did a great job in the second half. Really, they go down that first drive and score. and then they ended up kicking a field goal in the second half, or in the second quarter. But other than that, I thought our defense played very, very well, and was pleased to see the progress that they made from week 1 to week 2. We challenged them this week, and they responded in the correct way.
You're always enthusiastic after a win, but it seems like you're especially enthusiastic after this one. Is there a reason this one kind of seems to elevate on the list for you?
I think just the adversity that our kids face. I mean, you're talking about a 15, 18-year-old going on a bus ride for an hour, 15-hour and a half on a Friday. That young man's jacked up, ready to play. And then to tell him, hey, we're not going to play today. We're going to go home, and you're going to get back on a bus for an hour and 15. You're going to wake up on Saturday morning early. You got to get back on the same bus. And you take the same trip, and then you go play a game at 11 o'clock, which is off of everyone's routine. And I thought just the way that our kids handled everything was very mature and honestly professional. So I was happy for our kids because I truly thought that they earned the right to win. They did what winning required for this week, which was different than it was last week. But that's football, where you've got to be ready to adapt and adjust and overcome things. So probably means a little bit more just because of the circumstances we had going on the road back-to-back nights, but also just the execution that our team did on all 3 phases. I was very proud of them and very happy for them.
Let's thank our sponsors again: Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Canal Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy, Ryan Grimes, I-70 Record Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Sell with Jones, Stewart Home Group, and Ellis and Associates. All right, so week 3, we're 2-0. Mooresville, we're back at home Friday against Mooresville. What do the Pioneers bring to the table?
Yeah, we open up mid-state conference play at home versus obviously a well-known opponent and right in our backyard. They lost a tough one on Friday. They did get their game in on Friday night. I believe they did have a delay. It started late, but they got beat by Terrett North. They come to us 1-1. We've got plenty of athletes on that side of the town, and they do a good job. Coach Gillen's a phenomenal coach. Has been doing it for forever. We'll have to have a great week of practice, good week of preparation, and be ready for their best shot at us come Friday. So we're looking forward to starting mid-state conference, and we're looking forward to being at home for once.
Anything change losing a day, like from a preparation standpoint on your end?
We had decided on Friday night when we got back as a staff, we felt confident that we were going to get our game in yesterday, played just because of the structure that we did it with. But we decided, like, hey, whether we win, lose, or draw on Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, that we were going to move forward and try to keep our regular Sunday meeting times with our coaching staff. Obviously, the kids are off today, but we will likely make some notes for our kids that watch from the film. But by the time they come back to us tomorrow on Monday, we'll briefly cover the game from Saturday. We'll give out awards like we always do, and then we'll flip the page to Mooresville. So we're in a fortunate position here this week because of Labor Day with no school tomorrow, so the kids can get some time to rest and maybe recover more than they would normally do if this was a normal week of school. And then we have teacher in service on Tuesday. So the students don't come to school, but we'll keep all regular afternoon practice time. So they do get some rest later, Monday and Tuesday, but we'll continue to be a normal week for us. We're just playing a little bit of catch up right now, but it's all good. It helps when you win and makes it easier coming into the office.
Well, I know you were super passionate. We always try to close the show talking about people behind the scenes that you want to thank that maybe don't always get the credit they should. And I know you were super passionate this week. You said, I got several people to mention.
Yeah. This is like down the list of how the chain of command works and like how everything kind of was decided on Friday in a cafeteria in Lafayette. But a huge shout out to Tori Rodke, our athletic director, for obviously rescheduling it, getting officials. Brent Schweinecamp was also in the works with that. He's our assistant principal. Michael Mincer is our assistant AD. He was on the horn with our transportation director, Dean Shepard, on trying to get 3 bus drivers, which was hard because of other fall events, plus drivers taking the weekend off because of Labor Day. So want to thank our bus drivers, Kevin, Mary, and Jim. Want to thank our quarterback club parents for providing each kid, I should say each pair of players got a large pizza on the way home last night from Papa John's, and then our quarterback club just for providing the snacks and the drinks and the sandwiches that were supposed to be for Friday night. We ended up eating those on Friday, so it was a quick turnaround. And then want to thank our parents obviously for driving back and forth 2 times in 2 days to support their son and support our football program. I mentioned the officials on kind of the crew that we had. They were from all over the place and never worked together. I thought that they did a good job of just managing the game and appreciate them sacrificing their Saturdays. And then lastly, just our coaches and their families on, allowing them to come with us, on Saturday to coach and then to be here today. We're sacrificing a lot, but so are our players and so are their parents. So happy for our players, happy for our coaches, and really everybody that's a part of Plainfield football.
2-0, hard to be much better than that. Let's get a big win on Friday against Mooresville, and we'll look forward to talking to you next week, Coach, about hopefully being 3-0.
Yep, absolutely. Have a great week.